This is Moyes and more. This is Moyes and more. This is Moyes and more with Jake Moyes, the host of the most. Hello and welcome to Moyes and More Series 2 Episode 8. Here we are on the 8th episode of the second series. We are getting close until the series finale, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to start off this week with a thank you to all the people who are still tuning in 8 weeks on. But most importantly, the people that commented lovely things in last week's episode. Last week's episode was the most positively commented on episode of the series, and that is thanks to this comment by, I can't quite remember the name off at the top of my head, I do apologise, but this comment was really nice. But more recently, this comment was made by a lady called Michelle, and she's got a family YouTube channel called The Willow Tree, and I really do appreciate that lovely comment. And Michelle, if you are watching, I'm glad you've tuned in for the second time. So thank you all for them lovely comments. I'm going to move on now to Ant McPartlin. Ant McPartlin. Ant went to court this week after being arrested about a month ago for his drink drive charge. He got £86,000 fine and a 20-month ban. Now, while Ant was then coming out of the court, once he'd finished speaking and there was a reporter there and all that sort of nonsense, there was actually another car crash. We've got footage of it right here.
Sorry, yes, they did say that he has had a very difficult year, and as was said by his lawyers, he had already... Oh. Excuse me, sorry, just some cars have had a bit of a crash behind us there. I mean, such is the media crowd there. It has been very busy here today.
Isn't that ironic? A man in court for drink drive car crash, and then a car crash does happen. Also this week, staying on with Ant and Dec, Britain's Got Talent returned last Saturday. And it was a good episode to start off with. I liked the comedian, the music teacher, the gay one. I actually quite liked him. He done a musical song about cleaning Windows 10, cleaning computers, and he made fun of all the judges, David, Simon, Amanda, and Alicia. I thought that's quite good, and also I liked that magician on Britain's Got Talent though, mainly because of the sad story, the sob story. I quite liked that. And that was Ant and Dec's golden buzzer. Here is the moment where they ran on with the golden buzzer.
Absolutely. And we're going to take a vote.
Go pressure it. You're not getting that. Come on. You got to. You don't have to vote. That doesn't need voting. Ready?
Now, I don't normally like magicians on Britain's Got Talent. A few years ago, the magician won. Can't remember his name, but magician won. And since then, Britain's Got Talent been getting more and more magicians on there. And I sometimes find magicians quite boring. But that performance was unique and brilliant. Iain Lee, a few weeks ago, started his new YouTube show. I think he's copying Moyes and More a little bit. Not really. He's a much more sort of professional presenter than what I am. He's older by about 30 years, well, 28 years, something like that. So I'm not much older. But he does it professionally. I'm here in in my room, basically, in a studio room. Iain Lee's got himself a green screen, and it is a good show. It's called So This Happened with Iain Lee. It's on YouTube, YouTube/The Rabbit Hole or Iain Lee, something like that. Just type in Iain Lee, that'll come up. And he talks about funny clips of the week. And it's about 10 minutes long, so it's shorter and snappier than this. You might think it's more entertaining than this, but this sets the standard high, I'm not going to lie. It's called So This Happened with Iain Lee. It's a cracking watch. He goes through sort of funny clips. He's had the Canadian version of Stars in Their Eyes, where a white lady paints herself black and does Stevie Wonder and pretends to be blind while walking down a step, and all things like that. So this happened with Iain Lee on YouTube now, and I tweeted Iain Lee the other day saying, I enjoyed episode 2, Iain, but your green screen was a bit faulty last week because Iain was floating in the air. And he got back to me. Iain Lee got back to me saying, yeah, that annoyed me too. So that's that. In EastEnders, Mel had a fight with Michelle the other day, and then Phil just walked in and offered everyone a cup of tea. Not a lot really been going on with Corrie this week. Eileen shut herself in. She's a bit depressed. Phelan hasn't made an appearance, which I'm quite disappointed about. Eva's gone off with the baby. Simon's a little shit. So not a lot been going on there, really. Yeah. And I'm waiting for Jacob Yates to get back to me on who pooed in the fridge from last week's episode. He is my new entertainment correspondent. So that is about it, and don't forget, we do want talent. We want pianists, guitarists, singers, dancers, magicians. Magicians would be good, wouldn't they? So yeah, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 3rd instalment of Bullshit.
It's a bullshit, and here's your host, Jake.
Hello and welcome to Bullshit episode 3 in the 2018 run. Last year I succeeded on the very last throw. The rules are simple: 120 in free darts to get 3 attempts each week. If I reach 120, I can gamble to get 140 until the end of the series, so I don't have to do that embarrassing segment at the end. Now you may wonder why I've taken my jacket off this week. It's because you never see darts players in heavy clothing. That's why the aim is so good. So I thought maybe if I take my jacket off this week, maybe I might just get a decent score. So these are my darts. They've got a speedometer on it, like a car speedometer, so they go even faster. So, I've got camera here, camera on the dartboard, I'm ready to play. So standing up to the hockey for the first time in week 3 of Bullshit, 2018. It's a 1. That's another one, that's shocking, that is. And that's a 20, that's 22. I don't think the jacket's, not having the jacket on is working really, is it? Take 2. That's a 13. That's a 20. And that's a 1. That's 34. I was hoping I'd do better this week. I'm going to do a Chris Evans, right, and not talk to the camera while I'm throwing. On that last dart, look there, a treble 20. So that was a 1 with the first dart, a 10 for the second, and a 60 for the third dart. So that is 71. 71. I'm getting closer each week. So next week, perhaps I might just take the jacket off again, and I hopefully will reach the target. But for this week, I'm afraid it's a failure. I'll see you next week on Bullshit. Ta-da. So there we go, I've scored the highest in the series so far, but it's still not high enough. The highest now is 70, was it 76 or 71 or something. So that is only about 50 short of the 120. So next week will be the week, guys, on episode 9. We've got 2 more weeks to do it. Can we do it, guys? I really bloody hope so, because I do not want to be singing on the end of the show. Shh, can't say that because that's ITV takeaway. Whoopsie. This week I'm going to talk about food, ladies and gentlemen. Food! We all have it, don't we? We all eat food. We all eat food. Although there was a story about 10 years ago when I was growing up. There was a guy that was there was a little babe that was allergic to food. So perhaps he doesn't, if he's still with us. Last year, Britain took a poll on the best British dish, the nation's favourite dish. Now, that can include fish and chips, a nice old roast dinner, sausage and mash, toad in the hole, pie, steak and ale pie. Do you want to know, ladies and gentlemen, what we now have as the nation's favourite dish, ladies and gentlemen? The dish that everyone all over the world will know us country by, know England by. The nation's favourite dish, ladies and gentlemen, is curry. Yes, curry. An Indian curry is the British favourite nation dish. Fish and chips is the bog standard best nation favourite British dish, isn't it? Old fish and chips with salt and vinegar in the old newspaper, you know, from old Jono's down the road. But this is where people disagree with me. Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, that's what you want with fish and chips. Not ketchup. Not salad cream. Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise goes with anything. Mayonnaise and pizza. Mayonnaise and chicken. Not roast chicken. Don't be weird. Mayonnaise and fish and chips. Mayonnaise and pasta. Mayonnaise and... I'm going to say it. Mayonnaise and steak is quite nice. But the shit gets real when we all go to a carvery. We all love a carvery, don't we? You fill your plate up yourself. Carveries are good, aren't they? You pay £9 for all of the veg in the world, all of the potatoes in the world, all of the Yorkie puddings in the world. You just get portioned on your meat. So you're walking back to your table with a plate as high as the average teenager, stumped up with mashed potato, the batter's on top, or the Yorkshire pudding, sorry, gravy's floating all around. You're walking back to your table, wobbling around, trying not to spill anything, trying not to spill your plate anywhere. And they always put steps, don't they? In carvery restaurants, there's always steps to get back to a table. So you're going up the steps. You're going up steps. Oh. Hey. 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 Saved it, guys. Nearly fell over. Nearly fell over. Hey. And you sit down. You sit down. And you tuck in to that lovely, glorious carvery. Your plate is swimming in gravy. It is wetter than the average teenage girl at the sight of a fuckboy with tracksuits, shit haircut and weed. The problem is though, carvery food doesn't last long. It gets cold really quickly because you're looking at it. When you sat down, you're like, where do I start? Where on earth do I start? Preferably from the top. Okay, you can't exactly start from the bottom, can you? But there's always that someone on the table. Where did you get them parsnips from, Brenda? Hey? Where did you get them parsnips from? They were just on... Didn't you see them? Didn't you go get some? Here, have some of mine. Here, have some of mine. You love sharing food, don't you? Everywhere when you go out for some food, you love sharing it. Sticking each other's forks in their food. Love taking food off your people, don't you? I went to a carvery once. Well, I've been more than once, not going to lie to you. But we went to a carvery and we were with friends. And this particular carvery had plastic vegetables as decorative along the counter. And old Susie took one of these because she thought they were real. And she was sitting at the table. And we were like, parsnips. There weren't any parsnips today, Susie. She said, yeah, there was. We all knew full well there was no parsnips on that table for her. She was trying to cut into it. Oh, these are tough. These are tough. She took one of the plastic ornament, decorative parsnips off the counter. Towards the end of your carvery, you say, oh, I'm getting full. I'm struggling with this. I'm getting full. I'm struggling. I don't think I'll want a pudding. My eyes are bigger than my belly. However you say that you ain't got room for pudding, but you've always got room for pudding. So they come over. Would you like a pudding, sir? Oh, I don't know. Are you going to have one? Are you going to have one? Are you going to have a pudding? I'll have a pudding if you have a pudding. You having a pudding? We can share a pudding. I'll have a pudding if you have a pudding. So we all decide to have a pudding, don't we? We all decide. We're British. We have a bloody pudding. And then after we've finished dessert, everything's been taken away. Is that all fine for you, sir? Yes, bloody lovely, thank you. Is that okay for you, sir? Yes, fuck off back to the kitchen. And then we do the same thing. Bill, please. Yeah, the bill. Can I have the bill, please? Yeah, the bill. Although at the carvery, you pay at the start of your meal. So you say, yes, everything's good, everything's grand, lovely, lovely. But the further you get away from the restaurant, it gets a little shitter, doesn't it? In the car, yeah, that was nice, but it could have been better. At home, no, we're not going there again. That was bloody awful. But love it or hate it, a carvery should be the Britain's best dish, but it's curry instead. I reckon there was a typo. I reckon we were meant to be voting for carvery, but bloody dyslexic over there got it instead and said curry because it's easy to spell. So yeah, food, we all have it, some more than others, don't we, fatties, hey? Hey, some more than others. And that is it from me this week. We've had bullshit, haven't we? And we're going to be continuing that next week when hopefully I do it. And then, yeah, we've had me talking about the week, me talking about food. But now we are handing over to Alan Caddick. He's the main singer for this one, chipping in with Iain Lee and Catherine Boyle, who's the producer of Iain's show. This time with Sweet Caroline. Bam, bam, bam. Yes, Sweet Caroline is singing us off tonight. The next week, hopefully, we'll have a guest. And then in the last show, that is a show whether I do my bit or not. So I'll see you next week on Moyes and More. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Wrong way. I was supposed to do it that way.
Over to you, Alan.
Where it began, and I began to know it. How could it be we're feeling strong? Was in the spring, and spring became the summer. Look at us there, we're growing strong. Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Take it in.
Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined, ba ba ba, to believe they never would, but now it's Alan.
Where it began.
Oh.
We start not to wonder, how could it be we've gone so far? in your eyes. I saw we started loving. How could it be we're growing strong? Warm, touchy warm, reach it out, holding me, holding you.
Here we go! Sweet Caroline. Bam, bam, bam. Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined bam, 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 to believe they never would. But now it's the instrumental. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alan Caddick.
Sweet Caroline, good time.